Listen.
Swaroop,
Yes.
let's. Do you want to just give me a little bit of a background about where you are and what you're doing at the moment, and then we can get into like how you got into car
Okay.
design. But start
Okay.
off with
Sure.
what present day.
Okay. So currently, I am staying in Chennai. It's in the southern part of India, and basically, I am from northeast part of India. It's called Tripura. It's a state in India. I was born and brought up there, but for my job, I have to shift to Chennai. So currently, I'm working for Renault, as you know. So yeah, yeah.
Have you spent any time in Europe at all, Swaroop?
Not yet, but due to uh, due to any work or some visit for some projects, I had gone there in France and also in Germany when I was in Tata, but not for like full-time job or something like that. Not yet.
Is that something that's ever interested you, or did you want to stay at home?
No, I always wanted to be like I wanted to see the different culture and experience different culture because I believe India is of course a country which has a lot of diversity, but uh, there are a lot more interesting stuff in the other part of the world which I want to experience as a designer because like when we see different place, meet different people, it kind of inspires as a designer and you kind of absorb all the things as a sponge. And whenever you go for approaching a project or doing some sketching or concept art or whatever, it comes through you, whatever you experience. So yes, of course, it is still my dream to get an opportunity sometime down the line to visit some places. Yeah.
The main reason why I ask you that is because I um your work is like considerably better than a lot of the other people that I see from your part of the world, and I just wondered like what is it that you would attribute to that? What are the factors I mean, what is your background been in that you've been able to reach that kind of level?
Um, to be frank, like it was, I think, my passion towards art and sketching. And I'll give you a small background, like how it came to me, because I was not at all interested for art or something like that, because India is a place where cricket is celebrated a lot, the game cricket. So when I was small, I was a kid, I used to be very much interested towards cricket, and I always used to tell my parents I want to see myself playing for India one day, or maybe for my state or whatever. I want to go into cricket, but
Did you want to be
they never.
Hansi Cronje?
Might be. So I always used to push my parents for that, but they used to kind of, as usual, they'll ignore me, but they won't let me know that they are ignoring me, but they will ignore. So I used to like take my bat in the evening and I'll go out and play with my friends in the ground, and this used to be my normal life when I was a kid. But my dad, he was himself into art. He was a government employee in India, but he was very much into art and painting. His friends were artists. They used to visit our home in the weekends, and I used to see those things in my home happening. But I never used to kind of get more interested towards that because my head was towards that cricket and things. My dad was very strict, I should say, because he used to kind of make a rule like every Sunday you have to make 10 sketches, live sketches, and one watercolor painting. If you complete that, I will allow you to go and play. So that was kind of my
Oh
target.
wow!
So I used to like every Sunday, that was my practice. And in the morning, he used to have art classes for my friends and some kids in the society. They used to come to him and to learn drawing and all. So he used to ask me sometimes to assist. I was not that good that time, but I used to learn in that practice. So I used to assist him in the morning. In the afternoon, I do my assignments. and in the evening I'll take some time and I'll go for my cricket. So that was a kind of very tough time for me to do all the things at the same time. But gradually, when I felt like, okay, people are giving me importance, I think I am getting better in what I am doing. And one more thing is like I'm a little introvert. I cannot make friends on the go. Like if I meet a stranger, it takes some time to initiate the communication and things like that. But later I found art was that tool which was helping me to kind of break the silence between two strangers. Like for example, like I'll be sitting in the airport or maybe in a bazaar or maybe in school. I'll be sitting, I'll be sketching, and some people will come and say, "Wow, what are you drawing? What are the things?" So that's kind of starts the communication, and I make friends. So later, this is how it happened, and I was like kind of like getting more interested to this new thing what I was learning because of my father. Of course, I give all the credit to him. Because of him, I am here right now, and also my mom was also in this field because she also sketches, and her specialty was she can make things out of the waste materials which she can find around herself. So that is kind of very innovative and very creative to me, which I used to see her making like meaning out of things which don't make sense by assembling things and things like that. So these two person in my life had really helped me to reach. Still, I'm learning, but to reach some in a place where I am today, and I think yeah, that is kind of a small journey for me. Yeah.
What sort of age are you at this stage when when your dad's saying to you, okay, before you go out, you need to do 10 sketches?
I think that time I was in class 5 or 6, class 5 or 6. My age, what it will be, kind of
So this
some,
is like sort of 9, 10 years old, nine or
yeah, kind
ten.
of early teens, early teenage, kind of. And before that,
Okay.
he used to teach me like the circles, lines, and he used to have books of all the great masters like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo. He used to have very good books, like very nice books. So he used to show me to inspire me, like see how that personality had made these sketches, how he used to think, see the colors, what they use. But it doesn't make sense to me at that age. But now I feel okay, something had gone into my subconscious, which is reflecting today. Yeah.
Did you have a noticeable, I mean, according to them, a noticeable gift? Like, did they say that, did they see something in your ability, or would they say that it's all discipline led?
I think it's kind of both because I remember I used to scribble a lot because my mom, she had shown me some of my very early sketches when I don't remember. She used to show me, I used to make some like sketches of Superman because at that time they used to feature these cartoons on the TV. So Superman, then Spider-Man, I used to like, and that time there was no access to internet. So it was all like it's a 1 second or 2 second clip which is coming in front of you in the TV. You have to see, imagine, and you have to quickly scribble it out. So that's the way I used to make those things. I used to make them as a stickers, I used to cut them and paste it on my notebooks or my books, and I used to go and show it to my friends, like, see, I had made Superman or Batman or whatever in this way. So they used to be curious and they used to tell me, okay, can you draw one for me? So this is how I was like very friendly in the class, and I made a lot of friends. A lot of friends used to come to me, and I felt this is a good tool. You can get love from people. You can reach heart of people. You can touch their heart, yeah, through your art or through your sketches. So I wanted to master it later. So I started to dig deep into it, and I used to ask my dad or whatever friends they used to come in my house to show. I used to show my sketches to them and take their feedback, take their comments. So this is how it started. But I think to answer your question, it was kind of both because I used to have certain interest, but not sure too much, but certain interest into it. That's I think my dad had seen or my mom had seen. then they started to give me those kind of environments so that I can learn and flourish into that. So yeah.
You are the first. I know that. I hope that this doesn't get taken the wrong way, but there seems to be a common thread in with Indian parents that there's this drive towards discipline, but that
Mhm.
discipline, like in their kids, you've got to work hard at what you're doing. But you are the first person that I've spoken to that the parents were insistent on you mastering art rather than saying, Swaroop, you need to work really hard in your maths and your science because we want you to become a doctor or a lawyer. Which, I mean, growing up, it's not exclusively India. I think a lot of kids growing up in the 80s experienced that. I mean, you were an 80s kid as well, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
So we grew up at a similar time as well. So the
Right.
difference between I mean, your parents and my parents, for example, is that my parents were like, Sam, you need to do accounting or maths. You need to work really hard at your maths. And I guess the yeah, it's really interesting for me that you guys that they were insistent on you mastering your art.
Um, Actually, not really. I'll tell you one more kind of experience to that. I used to really suck in maths. I used to get zeros and things like that. I was not good at all in maths. That's the secret. So they might have thought, okay, if this guy is not doing good in maths, we have to find him an alternate way. So, and of course, I was doing something good in drawing and sketching. So they might have planned for a backup, but at the end, I managed to do engineering. I'm a mechanical engineer. I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineer. So of course, maths was there. My worst enemy was there in my studies. But I was also like, I'll tell you my engineering, small instance from my engineering college. When I was in my engineering college, in the very first year, when I got the admission, I was not at all going to class, and I don't. And please, I request to all the students or whoever is seeing this, don't take this as an example because I have done something wrong. Don't take. So I'll just tell my experience, like what had happened. So my parents wanted me later because there were a lot of other influences from his friends, and they were telling if he does art, because art has lost its importance in this today's time due to this digitalization and things like that. So it's better for him to do a engineering so that he can secure his career, and parallelly he can do his passion in art, or he can do his exhibition, so he can follow his passion. But for me, I was little rebellious to my parents' thought, and I was thinking, okay, no, I want to take my passion as a profession. So what can I do? But my dad convinced me somehow. Okay, you go for your mechanical engineering, you finish it first, and then later we can see what to do. So I went to my mechanical engineering. I started my like classes, and I remember like first 1 or 2 weeks I was not showing up in the class, and my principal, he knew my dad. He called my dad. My dad called me and he was telling what happened. You are not going to the class. You're not interested. And I told dad, I told you I'm not. I feel suffocated because these are all like numbers, maths, and things like that. I don't enjoy. I don't see anything which is kind of giving me that interest to do it. So I want to still go for art or some masters in art or bachelors in art. I want to do that because I feel life in it, because this is very suffocating for me. But then my principal called me and he started to explain and console me, like what happened. Tell me frankly, I can help you out. Then I explained me like I want to use my passion as my profession, and this engineering is not helping me out. I feel this will kind of waste my time and my years in my life. I can do something better. Then he told, see, whatever knowledge comes to you, it is never a waste. Try to see it in a positive way. Then he told me about engineering drawing, and there are machine design and things like that. Then I felt a little bit confident, like, okay, there might be something which is interesting I haven't explored. So let me go through it. Then I started my classes, went through, and on the meantime, one interesting thing is when the teacher used to rub the blackboard used to be very wet and the chalk used to create a stain. So I used to see these abstract patterns and it used to click something like some shapes, some abstract art. So I'll quickly sketch that. I don't care what he's writing, but those abstract shapes meant a lot to me. So I used to sketch that in the back of my notebook. Evening I used to come home. I will make paintings, very abstract paintings with that, with colors and with those strokes, how it was created on the blackboard. And I'll start my artwork from I think after around 7 in the night, and it will go till morning 6 or 5 early morning, and then I'll miss my classes in the morning. Of course, I'll get sleepy and I'll sleep, and then afternoon in the rest I'll go and attend my classes. So this is how it used to be like I think till third year or second year. Then one of my senior, he used to see me doing this. He came to me and he told me about the design entrance exam through which I can actually take my passion into profession, be a designer. So he gave me that introduction. Like this is how you have to do. You have to make a portfolio. You have to apply for colleges. And there are a few colleges in India. You might be knowing this is National Institute of Design, then Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, Guwahati. There are various colleges. So I started compiling my work, made my portfolio, started applying, and this is how it worked for me. Yeah.
When you were doing before that, when you were small, when you were younger, and you were into drawing, drawing and painting and whatnot, in your mind, what did you imagine your if if this whole engineering path was not kind of pushed on you? What did you dream of for yourself before you knew about design?
Okay. So I used to dream myself as a well-established painter or an artist, and I used to think like I will make something which will represent my hometown, my home culture. Like I said, the northeast part of India, it is rich with aesthetic things and culture and diversity. It is really cool. I have seen all those things in my childhood, and this had somehow set in my mind, and I wanted to convey this to the whole world. So I thought maybe like if I become a great artist, or I rather want to become a great artist at that time, and wanted to represent them through my paintings and travel abroad and reach different people to showcase those things and make my parents proud. So that was my aim before that.
Were there any artists that you looked up to that you thought, I would like to emulate that person?
Yes, definitely, because there was an artist which he is like a world famous artist, MF Hussain. So he had influenced a lot of people in today's age. So I have grown seeing his art, and also, uh, yeah, basically his style was kind of like very inspirational to me. I used to study his art and see things. Then there was one and more artist uh, from my near my hometown. It's called Ganesh Pine. So his art was also kind of very inspirational to me. Yeah. There are a lot more, but yeah, those were the main ones.
Swaroop, when your professor then introduces you to design,
Yeah.
um, was there like a specific point where you decided design is really cool, but designing cars is even cooler?
Yes. Yes. I'll. Yeah. Yeah. That was the time. Yeah. That was a very interesting time because the degree which I got was industrial design. So it's basically product design and stuff like that. But uh, when I was introduced, it was in the first year, it was like very basic. So we were asked to make sketching of very basic shapes. Then there were some like prototyping things and all those things. Then they introduced us to the car design, and which was kind of the glamour and the feel which I dreamt. I was like thinking, okay, yes, this is the thing. I have to eye for, and I have to somehow learn that. I have to find people to advise me and teach me on that because uh, in product design, of course, car is also product design, but in cars, I feel it's like a sculpture. The way I interpret car is like a sculpture which needs to move on wheels. So basically, when you start doing a sculpture, you see the positive, negative shape, the way the volume is twisting and turning, the tension, and all those things, which is kind of less in industrial design because that is very form follows function sort of thing. Here it is like your emotion first, and then you kind of bring it to the package or things like that. So I wanted to be more free in terms of expressing myself, and that is much more to what I was thinking I will be doing or kind of fascinated me. So that was the phase which had really introduced that spark in me that yes, I want to be a car designer. This is what I'll be doing, and I started sketching cars after that. Like I didn't think what and where I'll go. I have to sketch cars. So that's how it started.
Did you start doing research on whether or not there are any Indian car designers, for example,
Yes,
like
yes, yes.
Pratap, for example?
It's, of course, yeah. In fact, I had worked with Pratap. He was my boss in my first company from where I started my career. So before that, I knew about Ajay Jain. There were very few Indian car designers that time, like of course Pratap, Ajay Jain, then Sandeep Bhamra. He is chief designer in Renault now. He was the designer of Peugeot Onyx. So I was mentored by Sandeep. So I'll tell you a small incident with that. Like when I started my career with Tata, before that I applied for a small internship in Tata Motors Pune. So that time Sandeep was there for some project, and I was introduced to him by Pierre Castanel. So he was our head that time. And when I saw Sandeep doing those sketches, and Sam, I'll tell you, like before my internship, I used to think like, how can sketches be so photorealistic? Are those done by computers or by hands? I was not at all knowing about Cintiq, Photoshop. Photoshop, of course, but not for sketching cars. But when I entered the studio, when I saw like crazy sketches, photorealistic with signatures, I was thinking, are those made by hands? Then I saw Sandeep doing those stuff, and I felt he is like a god. He is creating something which is not possible. So my internship went with this kind of like shocks which I was getting from my surrounding, like how, what they're doing. Then when I started to speak with Sandeep, and also he explained me how he does his work. He gave me some demos, and he was so kind enough to mentor me throughout my time during my
Sorry,
internship.
Swaroop,
So
where is this now? Is this at Tata?
that was in Tata, yeah. That time
Okay,
before
okay.
like when I was in college, and I went for an internship in Tata Motors. So Sandeep was there. So that time Pratap was also there, but he used to sit in UK. I was not able to meet him that time, but I met Sandeep, and he kind of gave me all the basics and things like that. And when I went back to college, I was still in touch with him for like as I told, I need to find people to guide me and show me the right way. How should I do? So I was still in touch with him, and he had really helped me a lot. And when I joined Tata Motors, I met Pratap for the first time, and I was really inspired by his thought process, the way he see cars, the way he strategized things, and overall his personality. He was like very inspirational for us and for me, of
Very
course.
clever
So
guy. Very, very
yes,
clever guy.
very nice guy. Yeah, very nice guy. Yeah. So this is how I think I was lucky enough to find right people and the people at the right time in my career so that I could get the guidance because in India when I started in the 80s there were not much about car design. It was For me, like I can tell you another thing is like when I started sketching, like maybe two-wheelers or four-wheelers are from the TV show called Street Hawk and Knight Rider. I used to see them in the on Sundays, and that used to fascinate me. Oh, that's a car I want to have one. Day. That's a car. That's the car for me. So I used to sketch them and quickly, and this is how it started. But the sketches were very crappy that time. If I see today, I don't want to see them now. But this is how it started, and of course, these people when they came in my life at the right time, I got the guidance for sketching and like how to think, how to approach what is car design, so all this kind of things. Yeah.
Was there a lot of competition for the internship?
Yes, yes. I think there were people who also had applied. Even I had applied, and also there was a like I was lucky enough to meet Mr. Ratan Tata himself. I
Wow.
made I made an exhibition when I was in engineering college, and I made a portrait of Ratan Tata along with Jamshedji Tata at the background. That was a sculpture of Jamshedji Tata, and Ratan Tata was in the foreground. So I made that pencil graphite sketch, and it was exhibited when I was in my engineering college in the city center. That exhibition was kind of for 1 week, and all the local newspapers and everyone kind of made that as a front page kind of thing, and with that image. Then that time I thought like I'll try my luck to approach Tata office if I can get a small appointment to meet him. So I went there, and Mr. Tata was very humble enough to give me some time. He came and I went to his office, and we spent 40 minutes time discussing about art, and he was asking me like whether like I have seen your works, I have seen this, that, and all those things. So I want to ask, what is your future plan? What you want to be? Then I told I'm trying for design colleges, and I want to be a designer, probably car designer, and or maybe industrial design, because I was not clear at that time I want to be a car designer or something. I think I told design, some design thing. Then he told, okay, if you want, I can maybe help you out in the process with some scholarship or things like that. So he was very interested. Then he told, okay, after your design is done, we have a design studio in Pune, that is Tata Motors Design. So in case if you want to join our team or for internship, you please take this contact and you contact us later. So this is how I think I got my internship. I applied, and I sent my portfolio. They liked my work, and also I was lucky enough to meet Mr. Tata that time, and this is how it started, the internship.
You were lucky enough, but you also were proactive in connecting with him. I mean, it wasn't there wasn't an advert placed somewhere to say come and meet Mr. Tata or come and apply for an internship. I mean, you kind of used your initiative to make that happen.
Yes, yes. And my actually my dad, he used to work for like governor house, uh, like the governors. So he was a like under secretary over there. So he had certain contacts to reach people. So I just casually asked my dad like whether he can help me out. So he just called Bombay House, and he had sent some of my like shots, like photographs of the paintings, like this is what I have done, and this particular painting was appreciated, and I want to meet him to present him personally. So, and I believe, I think Mr. Ratan Tata was uh, uh, like very humble to give me this opportunity, because that time I was just like a student, and like, to approach him to such a big guy, it was like a big thing for me. I was very nervous that day. I was hardly speaking because he was speaking to me, and there was like the words were not coming off my mouth because I was so nervous, because the person whom you see in newspapers or on TV or is like your role model
Yeah, it's
from your
like a
childhood. And
celebrity. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, exactly. And you see him in front of you and talk, it's like, wow. So I was lucky enough, I think. And my dad helped me a lot in that. Yeah.
Swaroop, do you remember the stuff that Sandeep was teaching you? Like specific stuff that you might have learned from him. Do you remember? I know it was a long
Uh,
time ago.
yes, it was basically sketching that time. I remember during my first 1 or 2 weeks in Tata Motors internship, he was there, and I was sketching some cars which were there in Simcom. You remember that site, my Marek Simco. So
Yes.
so that was the website which I used to follow, and in fact, a lot of us had followed it. So there were certain sketches which I liked, and I was like kind of used to repeat them and till I get that same feel and all. But Sandeep used to come and tell me like, okay, this is not yet there, the perspective is wrong, or maybe, and don't use don't use picks now. He used to take all the picks from my table and he'll give me all the pencils and he'll ask, okay, till the time the sketch is perfect, sketch with your pencil and get it perfect, that is get it in a proper way. And once that are done, on the last week of my internship, I remember he had opened his bag and he had gave me all the pens back to me, and he said, okay, now I think you are there, now start sketching with your pen. So basically it was more of like Photoshop tutorials, sometimes like his techniques, the way he approaches car sketching and car design, and the thought process behind, and also like how to make those emotional pen sketches with markers and things like that. So those were the initial stuff which I received from him.
It's I mean that's a real gift when you're able to sit with somebody like that that's really that good and is also so generous with their time,
Yes,
because it's not necessarily something that even I mean there's very few, to my knowledge, very few design colleges even that are able to really teach you something like that. You
right,
know, you
right,
need to
right.
have the right tutors. You need to have somebody, yeah, somebody from industry
Yes,
currently as well, usually to kind of give you the sort of input that you're really looking for. You know, to do something contemporary as well.
right,
And that's yeah, that must have been a real special moment.
right. True. I
Um,
totally agree.
after after your internship, did you go straight into the company? Did they give you something? Did they offer you a job straight away?
Yes, yes. So I think they like my performance during my 6 months period, and they offered me a job after my masters. After I completed the college, then I right away joined Tata Motors. Yeah.
Swaroop, what you went back to going back to what your I think it was your professor or the head of the school that called your dad, that said you're not going to class, and he sat down with you and he was like, what and he said that you should look at this learning process as never anything wasted. Now,
Yeah.
in hindsight, I also have come across quite a few designers that studied engineering beforehand. Ankur Singh, for example, um,
Hmm.
and my good friend Alan DeRosier as well. And
Yes.
both of these guys have talked about how instrumental. I mean, in hindsight, it was that they kind of got the technical understanding of the products that they're designing. What were some of the things that you got out of engineering that you as directly benefited you in your role as a designer?
Yes. Yes, of course. I think engineering was kind of a like it's like I feel it's like those cowboys, you have these two guns right in the side of your leg. One is art and one is engineering. So I feel whenever you have the enemy in front of you, use art gun, or whenever you have the enemy, use the engineering gun. So it's like that. I feel right now when I'm tackling certain problems with engineering, negotiating with them, like to make things work in the package or things like that, it really helps me because I can suggest them certain solutions in a very creative way, which maybe they can't see it. So that really helps, gives me an added advantage of a deeper understanding of the package, of the limitations, of the constraints, which I can deal it with solving it creatively and also with aesthetically, which my art helps me to solve with sculptural things, with new solutions. Yeah, something like that. Definitely it helps.